Greetings, parents. I hope you're well. I hope you can hear me as well. Um, Let me know from the chat box if you can hear me so that I know we are together. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Njira. Thank you, Njira, for that. Parents, can you hear me? Thank you, Dr. Mark. Thank you, Agnes. Thank you, Valerie. Julie, Omaido, thank you so much. I totally appreciate you being here tonight. I don't take it for granted. Thank you for being here. Um, for them that are in our WhatsApp group, there is also a link that I've shared. Paul, you may want to turn off your video. Paul, you can turn off your video. Thank you. So for them that are in the WhatsApp group, you may share the link that I've shared with other parents. I've also shared the YouTube link just in case someone is not able to join us or our Zoom gets filled up, so you can share with them. And before I move on, parents, I have been requesting you, if it's possible, you share this Zoom with other parents. And the reason why I do that is because our children are not islands. They cannot live on their own. The content that I'm going to share with you today is going to help you and in return help your child. So if your child is helped and their friends are not helped, then it becomes a bit strenuous for them to hold on to the values that you have taught them. And so that's the main reason why I was requesting you to invite the parents of your daughter's friends, from your estate, from the village, from your church, from your workplace, from, the school that they were in last year or some years ago. Just sharing the link with them means that you care for them. And I always tell parents, drag those parents with you. When you see something good about parenting, something good about raising our children in a godly manner, if you see something that is going to benefit our children, don't gatekeep it. Don't gatekeep it, because if you gatekeep it, then it's your child only will be benefiting, and then where will he go? Where are the friends? Where are our classmates? Then she becomes, or he grows alone, or he becomes very lonely, holding on to the to those values. So please share the link. Those interested will join, but more so, if you know the parents of your daughter or your son's friends, drag them here. Let's learn together. Let's grow together. Okay? Let's become one. Um let's empower each other. So karibuni sana. I will straight go to our conversation tonight. I don't intend to keep you long. I know it has been a long journey, but before that, I would want to know, where are you watching us from? Where are you tuning from? Where are you following this from? Where are you listening from? I know you might be in bed or the comfort of your couch or freshening up, and that is why this program is after 8, when you've settled at home and with less distraction. Let me know where you're joining us from. Is it your first time to be here? Is it your first time to join our webinars? Please put in the chat box so that I know how I'll introduce myself. I've done these webinars for a very long time. I think since COVID, I've been doing the webinars for parents. So I know there are those parents who keep on coming. They don't miss any of my webinar, but also every session has new parents. And so let me know, is it your first time to be here? Because then that will guide us on how I will do my introduction. There are those classes I don't introduce myself. We just go straight to a conversation, because they are people that know me. They are people that I have worked with over and over again. So I'm waiting to see your comments. Um, Oh, Angie saying first time here. Dr. Mark Chepkoni says joining you from Kericho, first time. Julie, my first day. Okay. Oh, those are the first. Njiro as well, my first time. Do we have a repeat parent here? It's your fourth, sixth, 10th time, second time you being here. At least I know there's a representative of parents who are new here. Agnes says Nairobi, second time. Okay, thank you, Agnes, for that. Thank you for that. And so with that, I think I now know how to strike a balance as we have this conversation. Now, parents, disclaimer, you are not going to write anything. So if you have a notebook, if you have your iPad and ready to write the notes, there's nothing to write. I know that's interesting, yeah. There's nothing to write, but there's a lot of things that you need to think about. I will poke you a bit. I will cause you to reflect a lot. So if you want to write your notes for that, if you want to write your reflections, that's okay. But from this webinar, I can't assure you that you're going to write points because the nature of the webinars I run, they are very practical and very real. And even as we move on, you will get to understand why I'm saying that. So allow me to share my slide, and you can give me a thumbs up if you say my slide's up. I will appreciate it. Oh, thank you, Valerie. Valerie, it's your first time as well. And this is the reason why we are here. That's what's on the screen. This is what we all signed up for. Is your child ready for university, college? Is your child ready for university or college? And if a child and your son is already in the university, did you prepare him? Did you prepare her? How well are they prepared? Yeah. And so we are going to have conversations that will help you prepare your child, your son, your daughter before he joins university, or if he's already in university, still not too late. You can still have this conversation with them. So for the new parents, most of you are new. My name is Brenda Karimi. I am a certified life coach and a certified career counselor, as I say, career analyst, whatever makes you happy. Yeah, I have worked with adolescent girls and young people for over 10 years now. And I love doing this. I love supporting young people get clarity about their lives. I love supporting young people make the right decisions about their lives, maximize on their potential, but also working with parents to ensure that they understand. I know that sounds like a cliche, but yeah, I help parents understand their daughters, why, and their sons, why they do things the way they do, why they behave the way they behave. Sometimes, helping them decode the language of their children. And I have done that across 5 continents. So I have programs that are virtual, most of them, especially for them that are outside Africa, or rather Kenya. I'm based in Kenya, Nairobi. So them that are outside Nairobi, I run programs virtually, but also for them that are within, especially Nairobi, they come to my office where we have one-on-one conversation, coaching programs, just to ensure that your child becomes the best version of themselves, or becoming what God intended them to be. And so when you're having this conversation about, is your child ready for university, this is not content, and I can bet this is not content that you'll find on YouTube. This is not content that you'll find on TikTok. These are lived experiences of young people. I have in this season, I have over 24 24 university students in my coaching program, one-on-one, not group, one-on-one. And I get to understand their lives. I get to understand the conflict they're having with their parents or caregivers. I get to understand their desires and their passion. I get to understand how they view life and what's really triggering them and what's making them live the way they are living. And so what I'm sharing are real life examples, parents. Real life examples, are lived experiences of your children, of your daughters, and of your sons. Yeah. And I always say that I have dealt with so many young people, over 15,000 now together with my team. And I always tell parents there is nothing new that I'll hear from young people. If I've worked with over 15,000, we know all their stories, we know their lives, we know how they present themselves, we know how we clearly understand their language. And if you come and tell me my son ABCD, I'll be very quick to tell you, okay, probably it's this, or this, check on this, or this. Why? Because of the world of experience that we have acquired over time. And so when I'm sharing all this, I'm sharing this with the humility, and I cannot keep the information that I'm having. It's important for me to share with you so that you can become also the best parent, to your child. Yeah. So a bit of reality check. If your child got into campus tomorrow, what worries you most? So this is a question for parents whose children are not yet who have not yet joined university. If your child got into campus tomorrow, what worries you most? Okay, for them that your children are already in university, what worries you most about your child? So this is going to be interactive. This is a question, and I hope to get an answer on the chat box. What worries you most about your child who is in the university? What worries you most if you are told that your child is reporting to university tomorrow or college tomorrow away from you? What would make you get worried? Let me see from the chat box. I'm seeing a lot of people who are their first time. Jacinta says the company they will keep, and I think most of us will be worried about the company they'll keep, yeah? The company that will keep in the parent, what would worry you most, parents? What would worry you most? If you had your child is reporting to university tomorrow, what would worry you most? Or if your child is already in the university, what is worrying you most? Please write to the chat box. Let's have interaction. Honey says peer pressure. Oh, yes, because you're afraid of the values that you have instilled in your child. Will they be able to hold them? Yeah. Any other person? Please keep them coming. What would make you get worried if you are told that your child is joining university tomorrow? Valerie is saying peer pressure, very valid as well. Matthew says the relationship they will engage in. And I'm thinking both platonic and romantic relationships, yeah. Someone with iPhone says to fit in, will they cope with pressure of balancing school and personal life? And says, much freedom, drugs. That is Wanjiko Kangere says drugs. Absolutely. And I can now tell that you are parents actually, because these are concerns that really parents are worried about. Caroline says, choices they make. Yeah. Maybe you get two more other parents. Drusilla says, my second time here, thank you. My worry would be if she'll be able to stand strong with the values I've raised her with and proper use of freedom. Remember, they are getting this freedom for the very first time. They have been living under your care or under the care of teachers, and now they are going outside. Now they are going to a space you don't know of, a space you may not access anytime that you want. Dr. Mark says peer influence and friendship, standing firm and focused with studies. Focused with studies. Do you know their priority in university is not studies? Sorry to say. Their priority is not studies. Studies are a secondary priority. But is that what we think of them? Definitely no. But I will explain more why their first priority is not studies. Thank you, parents, for sharing that. I want to share some of the concerns that other parents have raised, and probably you may be you may resonate with one or two. Let me check. I know there are parents on YouTube. I don't want to leave them outside. Let's see what they are saying about their concerns, the concerns they have about their children. Yeah. Their safety, peer pressure, decision making, drug abuse, that Kingston Minor. Thank you, Kingston, for that. So let me share what other parents are saying. And these are real experiences from parents, who call me, who have brought their daughters for coaching programs, who have had their kids, coming to see me. These are the real issues. My daughter is not self-driven. I have to push her to do the basics. Can you resonate with this? And the basics means cleaning up their room, tidying up the house, cleaning the kitchen. Those are the basics. So if you are struggling with your child to do these basics, what about the freedom that is coming with this other life? These are concerned, a concerned parent. The other parent is saying, I don't know what's wrong with this generation. They are staying on their phone 8 hours a day. And parents, we cannot exhaust how our children are addicted to gadgets, to an extent of them not sleeping. They are staying with them up to 2 a.m. in the morning, and then they oversleep. They wake up at 11 a.m., something that maybe we have never seen in our generation. All right, so this is a concerned parent. I don't know what's wrong with this generation. They're staying on their phone. Okay. The another parent is saying, my son doesn't know the course he wants to take and he is not bothered. Can we even talk about course selection, the career path that they want to take? Do they know? Are we still parents talking about, I wanted to do medicine because it's high paying. I wanted to be a lawyer because of the prestige that comes with it. I want you to be an engineer because in this family there is no engineer. Are we still having that conversation? How are we helping our children make decisions for their careers and their career path and the courses they take? Yeah. So this parent is really concerned that the child is really not bothered, and he's not bothered and he doesn't know the course that he's going to take. Yeah. Another parent is concerned about, I'm afraid my son is just enrolling in courses to please me. And I remember this specific case, this specific case. The mom was a pharmacist, the dad is a doctor, and the son, who scored an A in last year, wants to take medicine. The father feels that medicine um is a bit of a stretch, and he feels the pressure that is with medicine, his son will not survive. So the father is worried that, are you taking this because we are in the medical profession? And parent, how are your children selecting subjects? I mean, selecting the courses they are taking in university. How are they doing it? Because long are those days we are saying, oh, this one is marketable. This one, we know the courses that were marketable that time were like medicine or nursing, they were engineering, architecture. Right now, we have engineers who don't have work. They're not employed. We have doctors who are underpaid. Yeah. And these are lived experiences. Will she even take care of herself? I mean, I remember there's a question that was asked by a parent who was so fed up by her daughter, the lies, going out, not obeying curfew time. The girl is supposed to be at home by 7:30 p.m. latest. She's staying home out of home up to 10 p.m. And the parent is so frustrated. And this is where the mother was asking, will she even take care of herself? Because she just cleared Form 4, right? But what do we tell our kids, parent? What do we tell our kids? And I know you will resonate with most of the things that I'm going to share with you here. Make the right decision. I know we have told them, please make sure you make the right decision. Think about it. In case of anything, let me know. When you're talking about security issues and you're talking about, her being away from you and you wondering, would they take care of themselves? In case of anything, let me know. That's a safe statement for a parent. Please take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself. And some of you have mentioned some of those things. Don't get into the wrong company. This is what we have told our parents, I mean, our daughters and our sons. Make sure you don't get into the wrong company. And some of you have said, you have mentioned some of these things even in the conversation. Don't allow distraction. Focus on academics only. And I think I mentioned something on this where I think it's Dr. Mark was saying that they need to focus on education. Yeah, so I can bet that Daktari, you have already told your son or your daughter, focus on education. Remember, I'm taking you this for you to study. I'm taking you in this university for you to study. Your focus is on education at this time. You should always avoid being alone with someone of the opposite sex in your house. It's a bad idea. When you're teaching them about safety, about sexuality, you're like, no, avoid being in these spaces, avoid being in these areas alone. Don't go to these spaces alone. What else are we told our daughters as a form of safety and precaution? What advice, parents? What other advice have you given your daughter? Please put it on the chat box. What other advice have you given your son? What other advice when she was preparing or when you are preparing him to go to uni? What have you told him? What advice have you given him? What kind of conversation have you had, have you had with him? What did you tell him? Please put it on the chat box right now so that we move together. I don't want to miss any advice. Which other advice have you given your child? Have you given your son? Have you given your daughter? Which other advice? You should always avoid being alone, and even as we wait for that advice, this is the reality, parents. They don't know how. Whatever you're telling them makes sense, 100%, but they don't know how. Yeah, it's fine. You've told them, don't get into the wrong company. But have you told them how not to get into the wrong company? Have you told them how not to get into that group of young boys who are taking drugs? Have you tell them how not to? Because we assume everything happens in a vacuum, you know? Um, Caroline says another advice that they have given their children is remember God in all you do. Dr. Mark says peer influence and friendship, standing firm and focused with the studies. These are some of the advice that parents have given their children. But I want to challenge and question us, and this is why I say that we will do a lot of reflection. All right. Let's talk about friendship. You have told them not to get into bad friendship. You have told them not to get into into bad companies. What exactly are you saying? Ideally, you are telling them that's a bad group. Can you see they are taking drugs? Can you see they are smoking weed? Can you see they are vaping? Can you see they are disobeying their parents? Please don't go there. That's ideal. And that's very easy. But that works with toddlers. You see, like a toddler, if they have ever been burnt by fire, they will not go there. So you'll tell them, don't go there. If you get there, you'll be burnt like yesterday, and they'll not go there. So an ideal situation is where you tell your son, don't get into bad company. The assumption is this is a bad company, and then your child, like it's a whole red flag. And then your child is like, no, I'm not going there because daddy said I'm not going there. But that's not what happens. In reality, that's not what happens. The bad influence, the bad groups, the drug addicts, all those bad spaces, they don't come looking like bad things, right? These are friends. The one who is vaping is just their seatmate in class, and they're just doing their revision. In the process, he steps aside, not far from them, aside, so that he can also engage in group discussion, and he starts, vaping. It's very subtle. Like we are seated, class is done, we are just hanging around, and you're like, okay, let's just take a walk. And in the process of taking a walk, they realize, oh, there's some, the boys realize, oh, there's some girls here we can hang around with. They are not prepared to attack all the time. They are not prepared not to get into it. The bad groups are not so loud such that they can't get into it. All right. They are not, when you talk about spending money, spend your money wisely. It's not that there is this label, they'll say now you are about to spend your money badly. No, they find themselves, oh, it's another week they want to buy. Oh, it's some airport they want to buy. Oh, they want to go to this high-end club. And they don't drink, by the way. They don't drink because you as a parent, you've brought them up in the ways of the Lord. So they don't drink, but they just want to hang around because their friends or they hang out with class with, they're just going for a hangout. It's just a hangout. Okay, fine, you come. You will take coffee or you'll take water. You don't have to do whatever we're doing. Sometimes our children don't even know the spaces where they are going. So parents, when we tell them avoid bad company, what exactly are we telling them? When we tell them don't take drugs, what exactly are we telling them? Because all the things, trust you me, this is not the first time you're telling your child these things. But how come then you tell them, wake up early, you need to learn how to keep time, but still the following day they are late? What happens? They are not, they're not disobedient. They are not disobedient. And even as if you attend my other webinars, you get to understand the reason why they do things the way they do. Yeah. So if you can tell your child or you can tell your son, once you're done with your dinner, please take the dishes to the kitchen, and the following day he forgets, and after 1 week he forgets again, then what makes you think that he will not forget even when he goes outside? And the reason is because it is not as ideal as we think. It is covered, it's camouflaged in belonging. I want to belong. It's camouflaged in I want to be part of my friends. These are my friends and I don't want to let them. In any case, me, I don't drink, so I will not drink. Oh, it's camouflaged in freedom. I have been desiring to go out. My mom has never allowed me to stay outside past 7:30. This is my time. And I get this a lot. Even with teenagers, I can't wait when I get to 18. I can't wait for the time I'll get to university. I want to do everything that is possible. So parents, I want you to know that they don't know. Your children don't know unless you become very subtle, very clear on what exactly you're saying. For example, if you tell them, make sure you don't get into peer pressure, what exactly are you saying? All right. And I'll show you how to have that conversation. And parents, a lot is happening in universities. And I have shared this, I am sharing this because of the experience I have dealing with these young girls and young boys, and what they tell me, some of the things they tell me that their parents have no idea about. You know, a girl will just decide to go and club the whole night. And when it comes to home, they told the mom, okay, I went for sleepover. I know you might be feeling no sleepovers in my house, but your daughter is 18 and 19. For how long will you have those boundaries for your daughter? She's 19. She is actually an adult, as according to the Kenyan Constitution, they are considered an adult. Yeah. So there's a lot that is happening in universities that sometimes parents, you are not able to imagine. Sometimes your daughters, like I was dealing with a case where a girl used to sneak out every Friday. Every Friday, she's in one of the private universities in Nairobi. And the parents were like, you can't go out. Once you're done with class, come back home. So curfew time was 7:30 p.m. And the girl was feeling, no, nimekaziwa. I need to enjoy my life. I need to have fun. I need to, move around. I need to get into what my friends are doing. This girl would give the house help 1,000 bob every Friday. All right. Every Friday, the girl would give the house help 1,000 bob. And then the girl would sneak out at around 10, 11. When the parents are asleep, they'll go into their bedroom. Of course, now if they hear movements, they'll think it's the help or stuff like that. And the help would cover her up. And she would come weird hours like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. the following day. How did the parents, how did the parents came to know about it? There was a commotion in the estate at around 1 or 2 a.m. Commotion in the estate, and everybody was up, and they realized, hey, everybody in the house is up, apart from this girl. Going to the bedroom, there's nobody. And that's why they got curious now to check the CCTV of the estate, and they realized, hey, this girl, left. And the rest is history. But these girls and these boys are very sharp, such that if they want to do something, they will do it in your presence, and you may never know. Or if you get to know about it, it will be too late. And please, I hope you're not the parent who is saying, no, this can never happen in my house. He cannot do this in my house unless he goes. I hope you're not that parent, because I have seen parents who were broken, fathers who were broken about their daughters, broken about their sons, because they couldn't imagine their children could do some of the things that they did. All right. So have that in mind. They don't know. But also what's really happening, amazing things and bad things at the same time. We have heard of university students who are coming up with innovative ideas, amazing innovative ideas, and they're doing, others are starting even their small businesses in the university, selling something that will give them 500 bob per day, and they're selling them to their peers. Yeah. Others are getting into clubs, like, clubs that are building them. Others are starting movements. Others are doing advocacy. Others are starting YouTube channels and TikTok accounts. And I hope also you're not saying don't get into TikTok for your university child. Yeah. They are doing amazing things, but there's a lot of clubbing. Both girls and boys are brought up in Christian background and non-Christian background. There's a lot. It's turning out like clubbing is the new thing in town. Like if you're not clubbing, then how are you enjoying your Fridays? How are you enjoying your time? It's like there's something major that you're missing when you're not clubbing. A lot of drugs, and there is a drug called vape. I don't know if you know about vaping. It's like everybody is vaping apart from me and you. I mean, like left, right, and center. These kids are vaping, and they don't even consider it as a drug. It's like it's fancy because a vape is something that is very fancy, looks classy, looks nice. It's like a cigarette that is advanced. It's just something nice. So like I look at girls because most of the girls in my classes actually came when they were vaping, and it wasn't a big deal. Yeah. And vape contains nicotine, which is a very heavy drug to inject or to have it in our bodies. So there's a lot of drugs that are happening. There are a lot of peer pressure. They chasing Joneses. They want to buy the latest gadget. They want to dress in the latest fashion, yet they are not able to fund that lifestyle. And I remember a girl was having a very difficult conversation with the mom because the girl wanted iPhone 17 Pro Max. That's over like 200,000 Kenyan shillings because her friend has it, and then they want to start creating TikTok. And the parent is like, yo, I can't afford that for myself. Where will I get it? And the girl, you know what? You can actually take a loan for me. You say that you love me. That's the audacity. So there are so many things that are happening. Others are doing online courses. Like we finished a coaching program for university students 2 weeks ago, and all the learners, we showed them where they can take free online courses offered or sponsored by the US State Department. They don't have to pay anything. Courses that are marketable. Yeah, they just join, and we allow them to do one on money. That was for everybody, and another one on a course in line with their career, the career they're taking. We were amazed. You see, these kids, you're saying they are lazy. These kids, you're saying they are not. Some of them went ahead to do as many courses as four courses online, because we showed them the way and we showed them how that aligns the person. It's a program that we run to set up our children for success. That's what we say. Setting our children for success, because success is predictable. And they will graduate. There'll be over 100,000 in their class who will graduate. What will set your child apart? What will make your child stand out? For them to get a job, or for them to get mentors, to get networks and all that. Yeah. So there are so many online courses that they can do, but do they know? Some know, and they are actually pursuing that. Others have no idea that those courses actually exist. All right. Now let's get to the gist of it. This is why we are here, parent. Then what? Because I don't want you to be helpless. I don't want you to feel like, now what will you do? Like you don't know exactly. Okay. So what every parent must know. And why I'm sharing this with one objective or two objectives. The first is so that you have a broader perspective of who your child is and the journey that they are about to take. All right. The second objective is so that you intentionally support them When they come and tell you, I want to do a short course worth 50,000, you're like, okay, fine. Can we have a payment plan so that you take that course? So the first is so that you support your child to become the best version of themselves. And secondly, so that you know how, when they come to you can actually give them your all. All right. So this is going to make you a bit uncomfortable. But again, remember, I am sharing this from experience. Yeah, I'm sharing this from experience and from what I've seen from with other parents and also other the learners themselves. I've been in this for close to over 10 years right now. And so what I'm telling you is going to help you a big deal. Now, parents, this is not the toddler. I know you gave birth to this child. I know you've seen them grow. I know you've seen them, make fun of themselves. I know you've seen them move from one level to another, but this is no longer a child. All right? Your relationship with them must evolve from a point where you are parenting a child to a point where you are relating with a young adult. All right. So I mean, and let me repeat it. You are moving from where you are parenting your child, my child, and when we have the mindset of this is my child, then we will bring them up as children. And you're getting to a point where you're parenting them, you are relating with them as young adults. Who are young adults? People who want to grow, people who want to make the best decisions about themselves. Parents, these kids, and the many of them I've worked with, no child goes to university saying, now from tomorrow I'll get into drugs. From tomorrow I want to be a bad child. From tomorrow I want to From tomorrow I want to be a nuisance to my parents. From tomorrow, no child goes to university or college with that mindset. And so then if you think that's the goal, or if you think they are children, do you know how we treat children? You have to sit down there, complete that homework before you go to play outside. No, no, no. Sit there. You have to complete that homework. That's how we bring up children. And it works for them because then their brain development needs that grounding and for them to be firm. What about a young adult? Someone who knows that they have assignment that is due tomorrow. Someone who knows if they get late, the lecturer does not allow anyone in their class past 10 minutes. They know that. Someone who knows that this grade will matter or matters to me or matters to my results, end of semester result. Someone who knows that if I don't submit this assignment, there's no mom will be called to come and, tear me. So they know that. So then how you parent this person, this young adult, is changing. It's changing to a conversation. If you keep using the old style, orders, threats, you will not come into my house again. I'll not open that door. Interrogations, where were you with you? Where did you go? Send pin location. If that's how we are bringing them up, your child will respond with distance. Unfortunately, they'll become secretive, they'll become rebellious. Do you know why your child will lie consistently even when you know they are lying and they still stand on that lie? It's because they can't tell you the truth. You have not taught them that you can actually receive the truth. So many students don't change. They just stop fearing consequences. So you tell them, like there's a girl who told me, I know the worst that my dad can do is beat me. And Brenda, I had to go for that birthday party the whole night. I was ready. I know my dad will beat me. I know he'll take away my phone. I know he will not allow me to go out again for some time. And I'm ready. So this girl sneaked out, went for a birthday party, and she was like, yeah, he did that. He beat me. He took the phone. He grounded me, but I enjoyed. So they stop fearing consequences. They don't care anymore. They're like, Mom, you're just not being old school. No, Mom, I have to go. And I've had parents who are totally broken. A child standing and telling you, Mom, I know you have said no, but I have to go. And that's it. And what now do you do? Will you keep on beating them? Will you keep on beating a young adult for going outside? And that's where it gets to a point where like I've given up. But parents, the goal is not control. The goal is access. And that is what I do in my programs. Access the life of this child. Access the mind of your son. Access the mind, the decisions of your daughter. Access their struggles. Access their plans. And you cannot access if you judge. And let me tell you the most interesting thing. If you want your child to be open to you, cease to give advice if you have not advice. And I'm not talking about the young adult. They'll tell you all the messy things that they are doing. And you know what? They try their best to take care of themselves. On Friday, there's a Friday where it was really flooded in Nairobi. And the parent of this girl, the girl had gone partying, they had a meetup. Actually, it was a 4 o'clock tea. They said, let's meet for 4 o'clock tea. You know, as adults, we think like, no, this is not a good time. It's raining, it's flooded, let's go home. And for them, it's like, we planned, we have to execute it. And so they went, and it became very messy. And now, this girl, in one of the scenarios, she dropped her phone, which got into water, and it went off. And now the mom was so worried. So I was having a conversation with her, and like, but why didn't you even, ask your friends for phone and update your parents? And she asked me, but Brenda, I'm a big girl. She's 19, but Brenda, I'm a big girl. I can't die. Like, I will take care of myself. Just the way you can have an accident is the same way I'll have an accident. I'm not that irresponsible to go and drown myself or to go. That's how they think. Yeah. So you need access. So when you're listening to such kind of conversation, what do we do as parents? No, that was wrong. Sometimes just listen. Without, this phrase of listen and don't judge, listen. Because the moment you listen without advising, listen without, like trying to give them advice, they build trust. And I'm not saying ignore. If there's something you need to point out, something you need to address, you will address, but not at this point. So enjoy the stories that they are telling you. Enjoy the conversation that you're having. Then later, once that conversation is totally closed in a different setup, you can call them and you're like, hey, you know what, Caroline, I think you really took a bad risk. And then you have a conversation on that. Okay. So you want access to the things that they are doing. And home should not feel like courtrooms. Your child will give you a clean answers, not the real stories. If they know daddy is interrogative, daddy will ask me questions. Daddy, you see, they always say that, mom does not understand me, dad does not listen. Oh, mom shouts, mom does this. That's a mindset that they have. And it's a story that they've built over time, coming from somewhere. And they can give you facts of where that story is coming from. So then when they know daddy will interrogate and ask so many questions and shout, they will give you the answers that we know will save. So they will lie to you. And you may never know, the truth. And parents, your authority still matters, but your approach should be a bit different. The way you parented her as a child is not the same way you're parenting her right now. Have conversation. Rules without dialogue creates war. And I'm not saying like now your home they can do anything. Absolutely no. There are boundaries in your home. For example, let's have a conversation about curfew time. We appreciate that she wants to hang out with friends. We appreciate that she may want to go to the library. We appreciate that she may want to go to town after school to get some things. Now, how does a conversation look like with your daughter or with your son? Okay. So it's like, hey John, now you're going to university and I know you might be having activities after school that may cause you to delay. In this family, let's agree. Curfew time, or everybody should be in the house by 8 p.m., or you should be in the house by 8 p.m. In case you find yourself not in the house, please, for one reason or another, update, send a message or call. Say you're running late and not at 8 p.m. Like 30 minutes, you should be aware how your schedule is going to be. So communicate 30 minutes or just ensure that you have communicated. If you don't come on that particular time, these are the consequences. So if you don't come home at 8 p.m., which is your curfew time, you come past that. If you delay with 1 hour, For the following week, you'll be coming home 1 hour early. So by 7 p.m. Does that make sense, parents? So you are stating the boundary of your family, but at the same time, you are telling him, I'm not saying there are no consequences. So if curfew time is 8 p.m., you've come 9 p.m. For the next 7 days, you'll be coming home by 7 p.m. Deal? Deal. What does this help you? So this one helps him know that failure to do this, there are consequences. And so automatically knows that there are consequences. But how does it help you as a parent? It helps you to avoid back and forth, disrespect, you becoming angry, shouting, getting worried, and all that, the conflict that comes when boundaries have been crossed. So he comes, he knows. And so the conversation that you'll have, okay, so how was it? Where were you? They give their story. Okay, you know the curfew time? Okay, fine. So from tomorrow, it's 7 p.m. Deal? Deal. They don't argue, and you will avoid this drama that parents have with the university student about shouting, about becoming disrespectful. All right. So, parents, what I'm basically saying is that your relationship must evolve. All right. The second one, something that you need to know, what every parent must know, is that boundaries will be tested. Dr. Mark is asking, how can a parent create an environment where your son, daughter become free to talk, discuss freely without being secretive? First, you ask yourself, why do they become secretive? They become secretive because they don't feel heard, they feel judged, they feel misunderstood, we jump into giving them advice, yet it's not advice they want. So instead of going through all this, they choose not to talk, not to give you cues that will cause you to make them feel bad. Does that make sense? So, for example, it's just like me and now, for example, Dr. Mark, as having conversation and I'm, sharing the challenges I'm facing at work and my business and all that, and quickly without understanding where I'm coming from, you're like, oh no, Brenda, but you can fire the accountant, you can fire the HR. I know someone who can help me. I will keep quiet because maybe I didn't want your advice. I just wanted to share with, another person who is running their businesses. Let's share ideas. Okay. So it's not all the time that they need advice. It's not all the time that you have to correct. It's not all the time that you have to shout at them. It's not all the time that you sometimes enjoy their stories without giving advice and get into it. And this is why girls will tell me, secret that they cannot tell their parents because sometimes they'll share terrible stories that they did, terrible things that they did, and I'll just flow. Why? Because I know the moment they are speaking or the moment they are opening their hearts, that's not the time to correct. That's time to listen and ask questions genuinely to understand. And parents, sometimes we think we understand our parents, I mean our children, and we keep on telling them, you can, I was once a teenager. You are a teenager for sure, but that was 1968. Oh, that was 1980. That's when you were a teenager. And we're in 2026. So many things have changed. And I think we are not going to that conversation, oh, it's the same. No, it's not the same. The way you lived as a teenager, the way you viewed life as a teenager is not the same way a child is viewing life. It's not. And this issue of comparing is not working. It is not working at all, at all. And what that does, it blocks your child. They're like, oh, it's the story again. Okay, fine. So you are a teenager when there was no technology. Right now, technology is becoming part and parcel of our life. They can get information at twinkling of an eye so quickly, whatever they want. Yeah. So the second thing the parents need to know is boundaries will be tested. Coming home late, partying, misusing money, bringing friends in your house for sleepover without telling you. They will test the boundaries. All those things that you have put in place. This is how I want my family to be. These are the values. They will test them. But they are testing them not from a bad faith. They want to see what is acceptable. They want to see what can I do. And the reason why they are testing all that is because campus introduces freedom. Freedom without supervision. There's no one to supervise them. And freedom always tests boundaries. Coming home late isn't just lateness, it's often about identity. I was with my friends, peer pressure. I don't want to be left out. And also independence. Like, dad, I can take care of myself. That's your 19-year-old son telling you I can take care of myself. So you want you to allow him to come home at 10 and 11 or midnight because he now feels that I'm independent. Dad, you should trust me. And they want to push that boundary, and they can even guilt trip you. Mom, you have never allowed me to go out. You have never allowed me to party. Why are you not allowing me right now? They are guilt tripping you. They are testing the boundaries. All right. So partying isn't always about morals, and that's what we say when your daughter wants to go out to party and do the there's a parent who was so shocked. One of the weekends, the daughter went out, she allowed her to go out. She came back, she had piercing on her nose, piercing on her chin, piercing on her, what do we call this, near the eyebrows, piercing on a navel and a tattoo. One night, less than 24 hours, all those things happened. And sometimes it's not bad morals. It's not that the girl was bad and she wanted to make the, no, it's about belonging. So it's because all those things were offered for free. And because she knows that they're expensive and they've been offered for free by the boyfriend of her friend, she couldn't say no. So she was tense that the mom will be mad, but she couldn't also say no. So it's all the things that we think they are bad, and yeah, I'm not saying they are good, but the things that we say they are bad that causes us to say that you are irresponsible, you're not considerate. Sometimes they want to belong, sometimes it's curiosity, sometimes it's trying to fit in, sometimes it's just, them trying to cope. And for example, misuse of money usually starts small. A lifestyle, they want to make their hair in a certain design, they want to attend to this event, they want to buy a dinner dress, they want to buy the just small things that happens and makes them want to just push you, and that's how you feel like, hey, this is now too much. And parents, let's be honest, some of these things will happen. Some of these things will happen and you remember this class. The question is, will your child tell you when they go and they feel pressure to do something, to vape, when they feel pressure to do something that is not right? Will these children tell you? Will they be open to you? Will they be willing to have this conversation with you? Okay, so boundaries will be tested, that is for sure. All right, the third thing, whatever trauma the child carried will be exposed right now, will be exposed in this phase. And what do I mean by trauma? Have you ever heard of these children who say, Mommy doesn't like me, Mommy likes my brother more than me, Daddy can buy anything for my sister and not me, or da 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 da. Have you ever heard those? Now, university removes structure and exposes the inner life. The pressure, those girls who grew up knowing that I'm not beautiful. There are also boys who grew up knowing that there's no girl who will like me. Loneliness, identity questions, all those, they trigger old wounds. And this is now when unhealed trauma often shows up, and they show up as self-sabotage, including drinking, alcoholism, skipping classes, addiction, risky relationships, anger, withdrawal. Girls who are not brought up by their dads, if they didn't heal, if they didn't go through healing, this is where now it starts manifesting. This is why you see some university students getting in relationship with older men. Why are they doing that? Because they are seeing their dad in these older men, unhealed trauma. This is where boys who are brought up by their own fathers or by single parent try to find a position because they constantly fought for their space in this family. So when they find someone in university who gives them that room, including girlfriends, they want to indulge into it. They don't know. And they move from one relationship. I know in one of the classes, there's a boy who was sharing with me, he was in that year that time, that he doesn't remember the last time he was single. He's in university and he moves from one relationship to another, like he cannot be without a girl. And he is the one who hurts these girls. And he hurts them, gets them through cheating. So he'll have this girl, and in the process, he'll get another girl. This other girl realizes, and They break up, he moves on, and it's not something that he likes, but he didn't know that it's something. He was wounded. He didn't know that something happened to him when he was growing up. So whatever trauma the child carried will be exposed now. There is a girl who was, they stayed for 15 years with the mom. The mom separated with the dad, and then they stayed for 15 years with the mom alone. And then the mom decided to get married when she was 15. 15 is a big girl. She sees everything. But then when this man came into the life, the girl felt that mom give attention to this man and not me. So the girl became very bitter. She started questioning herself, like, now why doesn't mom like me anymore? Why did he prefer the other man to me? Why doesn't she give me attention? And now she started developing hate towards the mother. All these things, the mom came to know about them in December when I was having this conversation with the girl. Because the girl had started being very hostile, very rude to the mom, going out, she was a day scholar, but she would rather stay in hostels with her friends rather than coming home. Painful stories, lived experiences of young girls and young boys. So any trauma that your child has carried will be exposed at this particular level. All right. Is it something to be angry about? No, it's just a child who has not healed. And trauma can also show up as extreme people pleasing. And it's a story of another girl. The mom was so tired. The mom would give this girl 1,000 bob every single day, of course, for Uber, to and back to school. But the girl would go to school and later, she doesn't have money. She's the one who's telling mommy, send me money for Uber. Yet the mom gave her 1,000 bob in the morning. Why? Because the girl would go and buy burgers, for her friends, buy gifts for her friends, people pleasing, because she wants to belong, she wants to feel, seen. And so the mom is suffering, the family is suffering because of unhealed, trauma. So trauma can also show up fear of rejection. They can't. You wonder why your child cannot get out of bad company. They are afraid of being rejected. Unhealthy attachment of friends, some get into girlfriends who are toxic or boyfriends who are toxic. Why? Unhealed, unhealed wounds, trauma that is causing them. And campus, university, college doesn't create trauma. It exposes him. Because this child has grown, the better part of their lives, they have grown in your house. The fourth parent, and this is for you personally, please do not take things personally. Do not start questioning your parenting skills at this level. Do not start thinking that you're a bad parent. Do not start thinking that you messed up and start asking yourself, where did I go wrong? Many university students express stress as attitude, short replies, silence, irritability, defensiveness, and the newest one is them locking themselves in their room and staying on phone. And they'll just get out of their room when they just need to get something from the fridge to eat. That's when they get out of their room. Otherwise, they will stay there. Please remember your children might be, or your child might be fighting pressure, shame, confusion. They are overwhelmed and they do not know how to express. Please distance, yourself with their actions, not them, their actions. Okay, so that you can support them from a point of understanding. Your calm response teaches them home is safe. So when they are raising their voice, when they're becoming rude, when they're becoming arrogant, that's not the time for you to be arrogant as well. You don't know what your child is going through. You see the way you can see, and I always give these examples to parents so that you understand it better. If you meet a mad person, an insane person, a crazy person on the road, wearing tatters and they're holding a stone, parent, you will run away even before they throw that stone. Why? Because you are the sober person here. So you understand they can actually hit you and they don't care. They don't have the sense to think that I will be hurt or the consequences. No. So they'll hurt you and you're the one who will feel the pain. So instead of that, you will run away. If you see them holding, stones and you're in your car, you'll drive off. And it's the same thing. You don't want to get into the life of your child when they're not regulated. When they are angry, they are shouting, they are moody. It's their life. You don't know what they are going through. Don't allow yourself to start questioning your parenting skills. Don't take things personally. Because yes, they are doing that because they feel home is safe. Probably it's rejection in school. Someone talked to them badly in school. Someone talked rude to them, but they're not able to face them in school. So what happens once they come home? They're like, okay, this is home. I can be myself. So sometimes it's okay just to look at them and just move on. Just move on with your life, yeah? And the last one, that parent is very, very important for you to understand. I know you are paying thousands of money for school fees. I know you've paid 300,000 already, right? Yeah, I know even the hostel they are living, you're paying 20,000 every single month. I know they have a driver who will drop them to school. I know you're taking Uber for them, but personal development is compulsory. I don't advocate for mediocrity or mediocre kind of living, not at all, not even with your child. Your child deserves the best life, the fullest life, and deserves to be exposed to environment that will push him and push her to be the best version of themselves. All right? In campus, nobody forces growth. Uh, Nobody will force them to go to school. Nobody will force them to get the best grade. Nobody will force them to get mentors. Nobody will force them to network. Nobody will force them to join, clubs like the way it used to be in high school or in schools, where you'll be told at least join 2 clubs. Here, nobody cares. So the system of university doesn't force them to become the best version of themselves, but life will demand it. Life will demand it. Decision making, discipline, responsibility, communication, assertiveness. Life will demand that from them. And students who don't develop skills like boundaries, emotion regulation, communication get carried by pressure. And not only in university, but even after university. All right. So life demands more from us as adults. Life demands more from your children, and life will continuously demand more. But does your child know? Does your son know that actually life demands more of him? Nobody is forcing them to get a B or to get an A. As long as they don't get suspended, as long as they don't get, they are not caught in bad things, they are okay. Just to be average and mediocre, the bare minimum, they are okay with that. Personal development is compulsory. And what do I mean by personal development? Outside classroom, what does your child do? Has he been equipped to see a better life, to build a life? Whatever they can see in their mind, they can achieve. But do they know how to see? Do they have a vision of their life? Do they have a mission of their life? Is there someone who has spoken into them and helping them envision how life can be beautiful? And key areas that they must grow in, that life demands of them, is self-awareness. They must understand who they are. Communication, relationship management, and parent must stop only funding academics. Please, parent, it's okay. I'm just saying we should stop funding only academics, because we know what will a degree do to you if you don't have ethics, if you can't express yourself, if your values are not appropriate, if you cannot keep time, if you cannot um, um, be with the team, if you cannot work excellently. What will that degree do to our children if we don't have these things put in place? But show me, and you've seen in the society, the reality of life. Some people were not educated, but having the right values and the right morals, succeeding, and later joining school and becoming the best version of themselves. Personal development is very, very important. So these are the 5 things that I wanted you parents to know. The first one is your relationship with them must evolve. You need to ask yourself, how can I parent this child better? How can I parent them from this level? Not from how I was parenting them when they were 15, but from this, they are 19 now, they're 20. How can I parent them better? Boundaries will be tested, coming home late, partying, misuse of money. Please remember, make them firm. Don't shake the boundaries at all. But also, every boundary should have a consequence, such that if they make mistake, they know this is the consequences. Whatever trauma the child carried will be exposed right now. Help them. Seek counseling, seek coaching, seek support, but address it. This is a time, if you're a single parent, this is the time your child will ask, where is my other parent? Where are they? What happened? And they'll ask you very tough questions. Number 4, do not take things personally. Sometimes they can hurt, sometimes they can ask very difficult questions, but don't take things personally. Don't feel so beaten. Don't allow their life to affect you. Separate yourself, because these are adults. These are people who are making decisions on themselves, and the decisions they're making are not wholly dependent on how you brought them. You are not the only person who is influencing their lives. And 5th, personal development is compulsory. Have budgets for personal development. Ask them which courses they want to do, which short courses they want to do. Have money that is set aside for that. That is how you are setting up your daughter, your son for success. Success is predictable, parents. Success is predictable. And that is why you'll see some parents intentionally choosing their children to go to a particular school, intentionally choosing their children to go to a certain school, intentionally choosing their children to attend a particular event. Like they do things intentionally because success is predictable. However, it's only your child who can make the decisions in terms of the life they want to live. If their mind is not exposed, if their mind is not opened up to the reality of life, if their mind has not been stretched to see things beyond the peers, to see things beyond the relationship, beyond chasing Jonases, beyond getting the new iPhone, beyond vaping, beyond clubbing, if that's all they can see, you will struggle. You will struggle, parent. And allow me, if you have any question, keep them, coming. You can write them on the chat box. I'll be able to respond. But allow me to ask you some just few questions, parent. Do you want your daughter, your son to be part of an inspiring and challenging program that pushes them to unlock their full potential? Would you love to see their confidence grow as they go through a powerful 4-week coaching experience that sharpens their life and leadership skills? How about giving them access to free, high-impact courses that help them discover their strengths and build future-ready skills? What if they knew their career path and understood their personality and learned how to maximize them? Who doesn't want this for their children? Who doesn't want this? Your child joining a community of other young people where they're being mentored, they're being coached, they're being empowered, they're being taught these skills that you're not able to teach. They're being taught these things that you've, taught them over and over again. And you're like, now I am tired, nimechoka. I need someone else to speak into them. What if they join this where they take assessment, either career assessment, for them to understand their career path, and when they're selecting the courses, they know this is the course that I need to select because of this, because we are selecting careers based on our skills, our strengths, our abilities, our motivation, and not just passion. What if they understand their personality so that they know they are empathetic, and when they go to university, there's a probability that someone will take advantage of them because they are empaths? What if they are taught how they can make sense of their personality so that it works for them and not against them? It's remember, I've always told you, they don't know unless they are told, unless they see themselves. Who doesn't want their child to be part of this? And this is where we are running the university advantage. It's a coaching program for 4 weeks for students, for your daughter, for your son. 4 weeks coaching sessions, meeting every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. And they'll take psychometric career assessment that will show them their ideal career paths. It's a scientific tool. If they're already in university, they know their career, they take a personality assessment. They understand how their personality affects their relationship with friends, their relationship with parents, but also you'll understand why you as a parent, why your child does things the way they do. What if they're given, they're, put into task, weekday check-in assignments they're being given that are easy to do, but assignments that are going to make them think and reflect about their lives. And you see, they're not doing this alone or they're doing this with their peers, and they're presenting this in class, and we are questioning and we are challenging and we help them to think about the life they want to create. What about learning how to leverage on artificial intelligence as a young person? There is a girl who attended my class in 2024. January. She is now in University of Nairobi taking architecture. This girl jumped into learning this AI, and she would ask me questions. She learned how to use Canva, make designs and all that. This girl, as we speak right now, she makes, at least on a bad month, she makes 8,000 on a bad month. Just designing, helping lecturers design their Canva presentation, helping clubs make flyers, school clubs make flyers for them, helping churches, make flyers for them. And a bad month, 8,000. She's now in second year, I think. Yeah, second year going to that year. They learned how to leverage on AI, networking skills. We teach them how to relate. And I know of a parent who was like, Brenda, I have networks, I have job opportunities, internship opportunities that I can give my son, but I can't. My son does not know how to communicate. My son doesn't know how to express himself. My son, I don't know what to do. Networking skills. And this is where we teach them also on how to create LinkedIn. In our previous classes, all learners have LinkedIn accounts. We have taught them how to get mentors, both online and offline. We have taught them on how to package themselves. If you go and look at their LinkedIn pages, they are different from what the others are, from what you can see from others. So what am I saying is that we are empowering them. We are setting them up for success intentionally. Success is predictable. That is what I said, right? So it's a university advantage, 4 weeks, and we're beginning on 31st. Would you want your child to join this? Would you want your son to be part of this transformative program? Let me see from the chat box. Or your daughter. Would you want them to be part of this? Dr. Mark is saying, life demands more from our sons' daughters. How can we make them aware of this fact? Much of the campus life is spent on socialization and trying to understand life, and sometimes, sorry, much of the campus life is spent on socialization and trying to understand life, and sometimes risky lifestyle, and many times they don't care. I don't care attitude that this world is very competitive. You are right. You're right, Dr. That's what happens. And that's why we are having this program, because then we are intentionally challenging them and telling them, you know what, bro, you can't live life like that. And now when it comes to from someone different, when they are given the tools, when they are helped to understand how they can still have fun, but still putting their focus on this, it makes a lot of sense. So I'm seeing Angie says yes. Sally Opisa. Oh, I think they're just two people who want this for their children. The university advantage. Let me see if there's anyone. Oh, Valerie, Paul. Ah, okay, good. I can see you. So we are good. This is what your child actually needs for you to be able to see a better version of your child. They need this. Let me show what other parents said in our, from past programs. Let me read the first one. Hi, Brenda. I really appreciate the work that you're doing with our daughters tonight. I took time to listen from the background as you were facilitating the class. I was extremely impressed by the design of the class, the content, and the practical and engaging approach to the delivery. The practical scope covered will definitely help our daughters to stand out. Seeing my daughter's curiosity and active participation in class was very encouraging, especially knowing her personality. I had to help them create LinkedIn profiles and taught them how to use multiple AI tools to achieve their goals. I am pleased to inform you that my daughter has already connected with me on LinkedIn and she's growing her network. You are truly concerned in this generation. Please keep going. I didn't know this parent was listening. from the background. But then he gave me this feedback. There's another parent. Hello, Brenda. We are well. Thank you for the amazing work you're doing with our daughters. God bless you, you for all you do. That's the name of the daughter. Is doing absolutely awesome. She's currently doing driving and taekwondo as she waits to join the university. Thanks to the assessment she did with you guys, we are grateful. Now, this parent, the good thing is that I can remember each and every case study of this. So this parent specifically, she was tired. Her daughter, after KCSE, her daughter was just staying at home. She didn't want to do anything. She didn't want to go anywhere. She would just stay at home, on her phone. And so when she's saying that she's now taking taekwondo classes and driving classes, I know that's a win for her. Awesome. I'm happy about this. I've also seen a lot of change in her. She's quite positive. When told to do something, she's okay, not like a while back. There's positivity in her. That's feedback from parents who signed up their kids in our past program. See this other comment from some girls. Now, you may see a lot of girls, but I open this program for both girls and boys, but most of the time I end up having girls. Apart from last class that we had a young man, two young men, and I hope they're opening up for this. So that's why you're seeing more of girls comments. The 4-week Smart Girl program was amazing and fun, interactive and very insightful. It felt more like a conversation among friends rather than a lecture or a class. Brenda is really funny and had so many stories to tell that really built a connection with all of us in class. She's like the elder sister I never had. I've gotten to build myself both personally and professionally through this program. And so I'll definitely recommend it to many other girls looking for growth, inspiration, and insight. This is a girl, I mentioned. She's at the University of Nairobi taking architecture. She's the one who's making at least 8,000 Kenyan shillings per month. First, thank you for really helping me out. Like right now, I feel I can achieve. Honestly, when I was in primary and high school, I was often hard on myself and I felt like I couldn't achieve due to various comments from teachers. Right now, as I am out here, I've really learned that you don't only have to be book smart, but street smart and open to learn. You really helped me on exploring more of online courses and the various skills needed. I really appreciate it. Remember, I talked about some online courses that we help them do. We actually expose them and help them choose which are ideal for them. So parent, this is a program for your daughter. If you're looking for a platform where your daughter can become or your son can become the best version, or where they can grow or see life in a different perspective, the reality of life, this is a program to let your child join in. So what happens in week 1? They take psychometric assessment, individual session. So week 1, it's me and them, one-on-one plus you as a parent, because they'll either take personality assessment or they'll take career assessment based on where they are. That is, do they know the course they want to take? Are they already in university? So I will guide, all right? So the first week is one-on-one. We schedule once we schedule a session, you join as a parent and I help in interpretation. Okay. The second week we're talking about personal branding, and it's not the cliche that is known. We talk about TikTok. We talk about Instagram, we talk about LinkedIn, we talk about what they put on their status, we talk about the names they use on their socials, we talk about how they dress when they're going to meet different people, different events. We talk about how they can be seen, visibility. What are some of these things they can do in university or college that can make them to be seen and seen by the right people? Volunteer opportunity, that's week 2. Week 3, week 3 is where we talk about opportunities and being smart and being ahead. Remember, we are raising them up to become successful, setting them up for success. And then week 4, we talk about relationship. Parent relationship is missing so many of these young people, and not only relationship with their peers, but also with you as parent. They are hiding things from you. They're not able to tell you the truth. They are covering so many things. And you end up, guessing. So you're filling up. Your daughter is not home. Your child is asleep for the whole Saturday, we don't know what's happening. You're giving them instruction, they're not following. Communication. So we teach them communication. We help them understand how they communicate with you, but also phone, texting. These are generations that will just send you one message, hi, even if they are, reaching out to their potential mentors or lecturers, how do they communicate with different people? But besides that, there is so many other conversations that come in between. They ask us about relationship, romantic relationship. They ask personal questions about their parent. They ask personal questions about their careers in between this conversation. And this is ideal for every parent who is signed up in this class today. And these are the content for that. It's the University Advantage, a 4-week virtual coaching program for university and college students, plus psychometric career assessment or personality assessment. It's going for 25,000 only per child. Yes, 25,000 for your child to become the better version of himself or herself. 25, I know you have already paid 300,000 and 150,000 for university. 25,000 is important for personal development. The pay bill number is there, the account number is there. But if you are on this call, I'm giving you a discount. If you are on this call and you want to make this payment, you can pay 20,000 if you are on this call right now. And it gets even better. You don't have to make the entire 20,000. Make a deposit of 10,000. Classes begin on 31st March. So that is the week we'll start doing the one-on-one session. So if you want to get the 20,000 and you are on this call, pay the 10K. Okay? Then you can complete the rest after before 31st of this month, but also before you get the link, because once you make the payment, the full payment, you get the link that you will take assessment before we schedule a one-on-one session. The earlier you do it, the better. So if you make the payment, the whole 20,000, I will send the link right now and we schedule a one-on-one session. For example, if it's a personality assessment or career assessment, we schedule it either this week or next week. We don't have to wait for 31st, especially if you want your child to know the career that they are going to take or to be sure of the career they want to take. So grab this now, because after this call, it will revert back to 25,000 per child. Okay, 25,000 per child. So it's 20,000 as long as this call is up. Once you make the payment, please send it on WhatsApp. The number is there, so that we start the conversation. I'll get to understand more about your child, what they are doing, where they are, what's the need, so that once we are scheduling the one-on-one session, I know where it's coming from. Any parent who is making this payment now, the class we have some parents have already paid because it has been up for some time, and we just need 20 of you to make the payment for this class to be on. So that means if it gets filled up, we close it and we move on. Is there any parent with a question? I'll hang around. We have finished the session, the webinar, but I'll just hang around in case there's a parent who wants to make the payment. Once I'm done, once I pull down this my slide, then that offer of 20,000 will be done. It will not be up again. Is this time fixed 7:30 to 9 p.m.? I am asking because of time difference. Angie, where are you? What's the time zone where you are? But yes, it's fixed because most of the learners are from East Africa, so we use East African time. But what happens is, if by any chance, even for any other parent, if by any chance your child I hope I've answered you, Angie. Oh, sorry, I went off. Okay. Sorry, I mentioned that yes, it's fixed 7:30 to 9 p.m. East African time because most of our learners are in East Africa, and it works for most of them because that's the time they are done. Some of them are already in school, so we give them time to rest and set up for the class. But what I said is that in case Alana misses a class, in case Alana is not able to turn up for the class, we do recording and we're able to share the recording with them, and we follow up for them to do the weekly assignment that are supposed to be done at that particular time. So is that better now? All right. Thank you. Thank you, Angie. Is it the parent who is making the payment right now so that you don't miss this offer? After this webinar, you will be required to pay the 25,000, but if you make the payment on this call, you pay 20,000, and I've given you a plan, a payment plan. You can make the 10,000 today and then the 10,000 before 31st of March. How often do you have classes? Is it monthly, quarterly? We do 3 classes between January and May, and we close it to the next until the next year. This specific program, the University Advantage. Okay, let me check. I'm able to see your payment as you make them. Someone called Wambugu, made the payment. Please share that message on WhatsApp kindly. 2 more. Please share those payment details on WhatsApp. Share the payment details on WhatsApp so that I don't miss them. Okay. Okay, Daktari. I'll hang around. You're saying doing it in a short while. I'll hang around for your sake so that you don't miss this. Parents, please note that if you don't grab this, it will be over. Like, it will be out. I don't give it again. And for parents who have been here long enough, we don't give discounts, especially on pay discounts. Yeah. And so if you're really willing, I know you can give it your best shot. This is for your child. This is all that your child needs to become a better version of themselves, and even to prepare them for the next life. Yeah. Yes, Ruth from YouTube. Yes, it's online. It's online. Payment details on the screen. Ruth, payment details are on the screen. I hope you can see them, Ruth. Parents, if you have any question, please feel free to ask, not only about the program, but also about your child and what's happening in a space or in his space. I'll be able to help. I'm waiting for one more payment, and we'll call it a day. We'll call it a day. I hope this was helpful, parent. I hope you've learned something. Let me see from the comment section. Was it helpful? Was it eye-opening? Did you learn anything? Or let me know if you didn't learn anything. Also, it's important for me to know. I don't mind. I really don't mind. Okay. And that was our last payment for the night. Dr. Well received. Please forward that on my WhatsApp, yeah. And then we will engage, and even the others we will engage. I'll get to understand where your child is, where they are at this level. Do they need assessment, career assessment, or personality? And then we will move on. We'll move on quickly. So thank you. Thank you very much. Totally appreciate it, parents. I'll be sharing some other communication. I'll be sharing some other programs we're running. I'll be sharing some other content I share with parents online. So keep it there. Don't be shy to ask any question from our inbox. If you want to learn something about your child, don't be afraid. Feel free to reach out. Feel free to inbox me. Feel free to send me a voice note and I'll respond. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for the questions that you've asked. I wish you a good night and bye.